Tonight, I am here to give a wonderful new award. It's called the Global Educator Award, and it will go annually every year to an educator who we believe has served our community in an outstanding way. This year, we are going to give the award to Mr. Gregory Frank, who I'd like to ask to join me on the podium to receive it. I'd like to tell you a little bit about Greg Frank. He's been the chair of the Connecticut Model UN since 2003. He has been a participating advisor since 1995. He holds degrees from Keene State and Boston University, and he began working with the Model UN in Parish Hill High School and later took over the Model UN at Windsor High School, and there are students here from there, and I'm delighted to have them. Many of his students, and this is very, very interesting, students do go on, and many of his have gone on to study history, international studies, and political science at UConn, American University, Georgetown, Yale, Harvard, Brown, Dartmouth, Rutgers, and the list goes on. Greg has been an essential piece of our program. He has trained students, he has coached them, and he is just a really amazing person. Last but not least, he is a Red Sox fan. So, without more ado, I would like to present this award to Greg, and I would like to have him say a few words. You're very welcome.
Well, thank you to everyone, especially to Felicity, to Eve, to John Myers, to Megan Torrey, to all of the World Affairs Council. I'm really honored and humbled by this award. I'll admit to you, I'm a classroom teacher in the trenches, and I don't really think of myself much as a luminary. I started being an advisor to Model UN in 1995, and not knowing too much about the program, what I found was what an unbelievable program it is to prepare students to be citizens in the global world, in global education. In 1995, I was a second-year teacher, and another teacher who was retiring said, "You're taking over Model UN." And I said, "I guess I am." My learning curve was pretty steep, but I was amazed and deeply impressed by the work done by students. For those of you not familiar with the Model UN program, it's the students themselves that research and role-play the countries over many months. It starts with an organizational meeting in the fall where the students themselves actually pick the topics, contemporary topics in the world that they want to investigate and research. Then in November we go to the UN in New York. We go to country delegations. Kids get an unbelievable experience talking to ambassadors and their staffs. And then students go on and write UN resolutions. And then, of course, the whole program culminates in a 2-day simulation where the students portray the viewpoints and motivations of their respective countries. So the more I did Model UN, of course, the more I liked it and the more I was impressed with the skills that the students were learning. They were learning how to research, how to write, how to speak publicly, how to interview. And they were doing this in a program pretty much run by their peers. It's a student-run endeavor. So I moved from my old school to South Windsor High School in 1998, and my population of Model UN kids exploded. When I started, I believe I had 15 students, and this past year I had 95. It's just been an unbelievable thing for me. And what I admire most, those of you who know me well, I'm not a very ostentatious person. I don't go out of my way. It isn't really about me. As I always say in my classroom, it's about the kids. And it's amazing what this program has done for their academic future. In 2003, I was asked by the World Affairs Council to become the faculty chair. I had no idea what that was. Although I'd seen others do it. Personally and professionally, it's been very rewarding. Every year now, I get to not only deal with the exceptional young students that I have, but talk to students from across the state of Connecticut, with other great and caring teachers, with politicians, with college professors, with just tremendous speakers from across the range of what students who they can meet and talk about. So I truly feel blessed and thankful that Model UN has afforded me these opportunities. I'd like to take this final opportunity before I wrap up just to thank a lot of my friends and colleagues who were able to be here with me today. Model UN is often about trips and permission slips and getting people to go with me. So I have 4 of my colleagues here with me today, and I would like them to stand if they're not too embarrassed. Mr. Frank Rizzuto, Mr. Bill Richards, Mrs. Maggie Mortensen, and Mr. Joe Kamier from South Windsor High School. I'd also like to acknowledge there are 4 students who came, one who just recently graduated, so you might wonder why she's coming back, but she wanted to come out. And the 4 students, should I do them in order? Maggie LaBelle, Emily Gasta, Mike Adamo, and Kevin Smith. Can you stand? Also at my table is my best friend since I was 12. He's a lieutenant colonel in the Army, and he's here in between tours. He's leaving for Afghanistan a week from Saturday, I believe, to go back in country. Lieutenant Colonel Bill Gerard and his friend Miss Christine Morris. And finally, my lovely wife Melissa's here, and if she wouldn't mind standing. Always acknowledge your wife. So thank you to everyone. Thank you to everyone here tonight, and especially thank you to the World Affairs Council. I truly appreciate the opportunity I've been given. I relish it, I love it every day, and it's just such a wonderful program for kids. Thanks.